Builds! Who wants a guide on how to 12 pull expand? Builds! Raise your hand. 9 to 10, drink some gin. Okay. You make work much more entertaining. Thanks. It's my job. Okay. Let's do a guide. Did Neuro play WCS? Yes, I played in the qualifier. I won't play in the one today, though. I'll be on the Pylon show. Business. Alright. What time is this? This is 30 minutes. Welcome to shit. What the hell? Ooh. Okay. Welcome, fam, to a guide. This is going to be a build. I know a lot of people out there are all about builds. And this game, I used a build. So let's go along and share this story of this build. So I went for a drone at 13 and then canceled it. Boom. Cancel. Why would someone do that? It's to 12 pool. So this is a 12 pool gasless expansion build. This is a macro build. It involves some pressure, but it also involves an expand and a transition behind it. And the reason you can afford pressure and an expansion is because you cut out gas. So what I'm trying to do here in this early stage is just drone up to 14 and then make a 14 overlord. If you want to be fancy pants, you can put 2 workers on the close patches before the far patches. So look at this area here. We've got 2 drones on this one, 2 drones on this one, 2 drones on this one, 2 drones on this one. 1 drone here, and then 1 drone here. It's a very small difference, but you do squeeze out a little bit more income by saturating these close patches before you saturate the long patches. If you're going for a build like this, which aims to put some pressure on and squeeze out an expansion, this can be pretty helpful. It's not required. I would say if you're below masters, it's kind of pointless and you're probably just gonna heck up your own base. But if you want to try it, that's something that you could focus on in the early stage. And then when the pool finishes, you make lings. No queen. We're going to go for an expansion first. We're not in a rush to get a whole bunch of larvae. We're just making 12 zerglings. 12 zerglings to scout. So I take a base, and I'm making lings. You can see on your little control group thing how many units you have in it. You can look in the command card to see how many lings you have total. And we're just going directly to the opponent's natural. We're not even trying to sneak around and dodge overlords. You can try that if you want to, but that costs you some time that often isn't worth it. This is a build. So you use your build. Go. Go use the build. So we've got 10 lings and 13 drones. The opponent has 20 drones. And now the lings are arriving at the opponent's natural expansion. This is a fun moment. So seeing this here, if the lings are attacking the hatch and it's almost done, it's a hatch first. There's even a drone here, which means that they droned up to 20 instead of 19, which is kind of greedy. Part of the reason the opponent did this is because last game I went for a hatch first build, so they probably felt safe and they wanted to get ahead economically and cut a corner. And now we have a nice punishment mechanism here of 12 slow zerglings. So there's a lot of decision making here when the lings get to the base, because it's not always going to be a hatch first build. Basically the idea of how to use these lings is you want to pick off any low hanging fruit, anything that's available, like this hatch is available in close, so I'm going to attack this. Maybe I could chase the drone, but the drone is faster than the lings, so nah, we'll just go for this. And now the opponent has a tough decision. Do they pull drones and try to save this, or do they sacrifice it and fall behind in the number of bases? So they're opting to pull their drones down. So I'm just going to take every little favorable engagement that I can, while also trying to damage this hatch, if I can. There's a lot of differences in how this can play out, but the idea is you want to mess up their stuff with your lings. And what you mess up depends on what they present to you. So they presented some drones, I'll kill some drones, that's fine. If they can't stop me, then I'm going to damage the hatch some. You can squeeze out a lot of value from this kind of attack. I didn't even micro this in the most optimal way, but the key thing that's happening behind this is I have a queen that's done, the base is injected, I have a second queen on the way, and now I'm switching into drones. Look at this. There's an overlord going. The lings are still picking up some kills. So suddenly, I have 14 workers, I have 2 queens, I have 2 bases, and now I'm just happy as a clam, just droning up. I'm just droning up. I accidentally made some lings here, which ended up being a stroke of genius, I guess, because I can send these into the main to see if there's going to be ling speed. So I made a spine here. I don't have any gas, and I'm trying to race for a faster 2-base saturation than the opponent can get. So the lings run up here. I'm looking around. Oh my goodness gracious, we see ling speed, and it just finished, and they pulled off gas, which tells me no banes, no upgrades, no lair, but there could be a shit whack of lings really fast. So I want to wall off. I have my 2 queens here. My spine was already underway. There's a 3rd queen about to finish. And now I'm going to try to seal the gate. I'm going to try to hold the door. So I do double Evo chamber and a roach warren. And then one of the really awesome techniques you can use is to put 2 queens in the hole. Why is this important? Well, if you look at these 2 queens here in this passageway, if the lings run in, as we're going to see in a little bit, they have to divide their DPS between the queens. So the queens are only exposing this much of their surface area. All of this around the backside is protected, and their sides are protected. If you just put 1 queen in the hole here, she receives double the damage of 2 queens kind of adjusted back here. This is a pretty important wall-off formation, and one that you can practice in a custom game before you get into a live match, just to make sure you know how to get it right. And once the queens are in this spot, you want to put them on hold position, so that if the lings run up and then run back, the queens don't chase them and give up this location. So you see tons of lings coming in. We've got 3 queens and a spine here, and they can't do shit. Look at the units tab. What is this? 28 zerglings against 3 queens and a spine. It's just beautiful. They're not taking any damage because the lings are just confused. There's no good opportunity here. And the spine is dealing tons of damage. And that's it. The match can play out in a lot of different ways. Sometimes they'll try to drone and stuff instead of attacking you, which you can just go into 2-base roach with like 3 gases and 40 drones and take a 3rd. You can also go ling speed if you want to, and then make some lings and contest their 3rd and that kind of stuff. But yeah, 12 pool expand is a really cool build. It's also a build that's going to tell you exactly what's happening in the match. You'll know what their build is, you'll know what they can use against you, and have some sense of how to get ahead. The opponent forgot to say GG. What a bummer. What's up, Dubstep Banane? Yes, milkshakes